Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about things that you're going to need on a long motorcycle road trip. So we are planning on a trip to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, all the way from New Orleans. So let's get going. This is a very long list, so I don't want to waste too much time. I hope this helps anybody that does plan on taking a long road trip. These are just things that you kind of need. I probably missed a few, so if I did, don't hesitate to comment. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification button so you can watch all of my videos. So let's get going. So, things that you're gonna need on a road trip. Obviously, you're gonna need clothes. So you want to layer some of those clothes, but we're gonna get to that a little bit later. So you're gonna want clothes. Make sure you pack enough clothes, but you don't wanna overpack because of course we're on motorcycles. We're not gonna be taking a car. We can't just lug our luggage all around like we do if we're going to the airport. So make sure you bring enough clothes, but don't overpack your clothes. And also with that, you're gonna want rain gear. You never know the weather wherever you go, what the weather conditions are gonna be. So you always want to be prepared. So make sure you bring your rain gear. Next thing is a full face helmet. So I don't wear anything other than a full face helmet. That's just my preference. It just makes me feel safer. But somebody like my husband who has a full face helmet and a turtle shell helmet, he prefers to wear his turtle shell more than his full face helmet. However, we've been on more than one long distance road trip before, and it's really a good thing to have a full face helmet. Now, that doesn't mean you can't bring your other helmet with you, but while you are traveling that long distance to get to point A to point B, I suggest you wear your full face helmet. Not only that, if you have comms, again, we'll get to that later, you're able to communicate with other bikes within the group. So yes, get that full face helmet. You can always pack your your secondary helmet with you. Just wear your full face helmet when you're riding that long of a distance. I have my trusty dusty list right here. The next one, number 4, is comms. Again, I just said that. Comms are great. I love my comms. It's a good way to keep in touch with my husband if we're riding or other members of our group. It also breaks up that long distance road trip. You can talk, you can laugh, you can communicate. So it's kind of like being in a car, but you're on motorcycle. So it's great to have that communication. If we have to make a stop, an emergency stop, for example, we have comms to do so. So obviously, you don't need to have a comms unit. It is completely optional, but it's a great thing to have, a great tool to have. You can also listen to music on it. I have a Sena 50S. I will leave the link in the description below, just in case you want to check that out. There are other ones out there. You got Cardio, other little knockoff brands that you can get. But I do know any of the Senas, they do connect with other Senas, and I believe the Cardio also connects to the Sena, but I'm not quite sure. We do have members in our chapter that does have Cardios, and we have not figured that out yet. But if we do, I'll let y'all know. The next one is, again, layers. I did, again, mention this before. You want to be able to layer because you might have to leave out really early in the morning and it might be really chilly in the morning and you want to be prepared for that. But also later on in the day, it might get a little hot or warm and you want to be able to strip those layers off. So obviously you want layers, 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 layers. So keep that in mind. Another thing to really have is extra gloves. And what I mean by extra gloves is, let's say you get caught in a storm, rain. The gloves that I have, normally they're good, but it takes a little while to dry. Well, if it stops raining and the sun comes back out, I don't want my hands to still be wet. So if I'm able to pull over, take my rain gear off, I want to be able to have extra gloves that I can replace the wet gloves with so those gloves could dry properly. So have extra gloves. The next thing is have some good pair of boots. Now, you know you're not going to probably be on your motorcycle the whole time while you're traveling, so you don't always want to be in your boots. So you do want to bring extra shoes, like maybe some tennis shoes, maybe some flip-flops, but you do want some good boots, good motorcycle boots, because you will be doing a long ride and you're going to wear and tear those boots. So have some good boots. The next thing is have your extra key. For me, for example, I have 2 key fobs on my bike. And normally I keep one on hand at all times, rather in my pocket or in my purse. And I always keep the other spare one inside of my saddlebag. That way, just in case something were to happen, I'm able to start my bike. Another key thing here when I'm talking about the key fobs, if your bike requires an actual key to start it and also a key fob, make sure you have an extra one of those keys, because if that key is required to open like your saddlebag or start your bike and you accidentally lock it in your bike, now you can't start your bike, you know, if it takes the key too. So make sure you have extras, make sure you have it on your purse, on your person, whatever the case may be, just have extras just in case you lose one. With that being said, you're also going to want to make sure those key fob batteries are good. So my suggestion is just get new batteries. They're very inexpensive. You can go to, I believe, Walmart. I think they're like $3 or $6 for like for 2. Very inexpensive, but worth it, because you don't want to be so far away from home and unable to get a battery. Next thing is charging cords. Anything that requires power, like your phone, your comms, anything, you want to have your cords with you so you can obviously charge them. Nowadays, everybody uses their phones to take pictures, but you obviously want to be able to charge it. For example, I'm able to charge my phone on my bike while riding. I'm also able to charge my comms while I'm riding. Yes, I have cords kind of dangling everywhere, but I'm still able to charge them while I'm riding. So keep that in mind. Have those extra cords. Also maybe get a little pigtail extender where you can connect USB cords to. Again, they're very inexpensive. You can get them at, I believe, Harley, Cycle Gear, JB Cycle, and probably even Amazon. Again, I will try to link a lot of these at the bottom in the description, so you don't have to really look too far. I'll have the link at the bottom. The next thing is obviously a camera. Wherever you go, you're on an adventure. So you want to take pictures, and lots of them to share with your friends and family. So don't forget your camera, the SD card, everything. Don't forget your cameras. The next thing, and I believe this is probably the most important thing, this should be actually number 1, but it's not, but have a list of emergency contacts. So if you are driving solo, for example, leave your emergency contacts somewhere in your bike, in your purse, somewhere where somebody can get to it just in case of an accident or just in case something happens. You want to have those. Now, if you're traveling within a group like myself, coming up in a couple of weeks, you want to make sure everybody in your group, or the most important people like officers, for example, or any of your friends that are in the group, have emergency contacts. So for example, I am going to give my mom's number to not just my husband, but to somebody else within the chapter, so they can be able to contact my emergency contacts just in case something were to happen. That's very important. Everybody, you should have somebody know where you're at all times and have that point of contact if something were to happen. The next thing is you need your vehicle paperwork, whether that's your registration, your insurance, that needs to be readily available. I keep mine in a Ziploc bag because it's easy. I can just grab it out my saddlebag, and if I get pulled over, I can show them. There's different things you can get, different cases you can get for your motorcycle if you like, but I just keep mine in a Ziploc bag. Another thing is, because I live in Louisiana, you got to get this thing called a brake tag. So if you're from Louisiana, make sure your bike has their brake tags. Yes, motorcycles have to have brake tags, just like cars do. And what they do, instead of sticking it on your window, they just staple it to your registration. So don't forget to have that as well. The next thing, like for myself, I carry a gun. I carry something for protection because I do ride alone sometimes and it's just for my protection, but I also have a concealed weapon permit. So always have that. So if you do have a concealed weapons permit, always have that on hand. Louisiana is an open carry state, so you don't necessarily have to have that. But when you're crossing state lines, that becomes a different issue. So that, again, make sure you check out each state and what states require what when you are carrying protection on you. So there's different laws. I know Texas has a different law, Florida has a different law. So make sure you check those different states out for that particular matter. The next thing, always have a first aid kit. I carry a first aid kit no matter what, whether I'm on a long distance ride or not, I have a first aid kit. The next thing, tire repair kit and a small tool kit. So for example, you might have a tubeless tire, or you might have a tube tire. There's different tube kits out there that you can get, and there's actually a kit, again, I'm going to leave these descriptions at the bottom, that work for both tube tires and tubeless tires. So you might as well have it because you never know, especially if you're riding with other people and they might have something different than yours. You are there, you have the stuff readily available, and you don't have to wait for somebody to come tow you or whatever the case may be, because that can start costing money. So always have a tire repair kit. Also small tools. They sell on Amazon anywhere. You can really get some tiny little tools. It comes in a little box that you can get little tools to put on your bike just to have, just in case something were to happen. The next thing that kind of goes with the little toolkit is having a tire pressure gauge. Now you can get that at Walmart for like 80 cents, I believe. They have even high-tech ones out there now where they're all electrical, which is pretty cool. And again, they're like less than $10. So well worth your money. You can also get a tire pressure monitor kit as well. Again, those are on Amazon. You can check those out. The next thing is a battery tender. So we have what they call a battery tender junior. So if my battery were to die or somebody else's battery were to die, we can just hook them up to each other's bikes or actually plug it in to a wall and charge our motorcycle bikes. So that is very good to have. You can get that at like a Cycle Gear, JB Cycle, and again on Amazon. The next thing you want to have when you're traveling long distance is you want to have straps and bungee cords. So for example, there's only so much stuff I can store in my saddle bags. That means I am going to have some type of luggage between myself and the backrest or a travel luggage rack. So with that, I'm going to need bungee cords or straps to keep that luggage tote down. So always have that in mind. And then also think when you're going on these trips, you're going to probably buy stuff, souvenirs or whatever. So you're going to want to make sure if you do get something, you can have it strapped down, whatever the case may be. So again, straps and bungee cords. The next thing, again, it's very important. It's optional. I really think this is very important. I have it on my insurance already, so it's not really a big deal. But I also got it when I bought my motorcycle. It's called Roadside Assistance. So if something were to ever happen, especially because I do ride alone or I ride in a group, I have Roadside Assistance. So rather I have to call Harley to come pick up my bike, you know, they'll come pick up my bike, but also my insurance, I have Roadside Assistance with my insurance company. I don't think it cost me extra. If it did, it was not that much for me to even notice it on my bill every month when I pay my motorcycle insurance. Well worth the money. The next thing, and probably again another important thing, is when you're traveling, make sure you pack your medication. I take a lot of medications for various reasons, so I tend to always make sure I pack it either in the weekly little packs that you get at like a Walgreens or a Walmart. I just already have them pre-done for me. That way I don't have to carry the bottles with me, for example. if you don't have that, or if you just want to take the bottles, I recommend being put in a Ziploc bag and kind of put where they're safe and not constantly getting heat or sun, because obviously medicine can become inactive if it gets to a certain temperature. So just remember that when you do long road trips. So that is it. Those are basically 20 things you need when you take a long motorcycle road trip. I hope this helps you guys. I can't wait for my trip. I can't wait to videotape it for all of you guys. It will be fun. I am going with a group of great people, and so super excited. I hope you, again, like this video. If you do, make sure you hit that like button. And again, if you're new here, please subscribe, hit that notification button. I have plenty of videos out here, whether it's about my motorcycle or my cargo trailer, it is there. If you have any more suggestions on videos I can make, please share them, comment below. Until next time, guys, bye.